Whether it's intentional or not, the societal pressures that permeate American culture and substantiate the capitalist system are present all throughout narrative fiction. And to examine this, I wanted to take a look at one of the most popular sitcoms of all time to prove my point. Sing along.
No one told you life was gonna be this way. Your job's a joke, you broke, your love life's the old way. It's like you're always stuck in second gear when it hasn't been your day, your week, your month, or even your year. But I'll be there for you when the rain starts to pour. I'll be there for you like I've been there before. I'll be there for you 'cause I'm there for you too.
From the theme song, it's evident that Friends has a way of conveying very depressing topics in very cheerful melodies. Normally, the idea that someone's job is unfulfilling, they don't have a lot of money, and their love life is dead on arrival, is not grounds for humor, but it at least is something that the audience can relate to. A belief that throughout capitalist society, if you work hard, regardless of the toil and struggle you go through, you can achieve anything. Is that true? Friends will have you believe that as long as you have your friends with you, that is true. In my opinion, that's questionable.
Well, it started about a half hour before the wedding. I was in this room where we were keeping all the presents, and I was looking at this gravy boat. This really gorgeous Limoges gravy boat. When all of a sudden I realized, sweet and low, I realized that I was more turned on by this gravy boat than by Barry. And then I got really freaked out, and that's when it hit me how much Barry looks like Mr. Potato Head. I always knew he looked familiar, but... Anyway, I just had to get out of there, and I started wondering, why am I doing this, and who am I doing this for? So anyway, I just didn't know where to go, and I know that you and I have kind of drifted apart, but you're the only person I knew who lived here in the city.
Who wasn't invited to the wedding?
Oh, I was kind of hoping that wouldn't be an issue.
So here we see the catalyst for the series, one of the six main friends, Rachel, running out on her wedding because she's realizing that she didn't love her fiancé. Now, Rachel has always been materialistic and privileged, and as she wonders, why am I doing this and who am I doing this for, the answer that comes to my mind is that she's doing this because she would be set up for life, and her privilege puts her in a position where culture and society expects her to be set up for life and stay privileged. Now, the message the episode wants you to take away is that life is worth it more with the toil and the struggle and basically submitting to the capitalist system. But it is just as damaging for Rachel to coast on her privilege and being set up as it is to submit to a struggle of unfulfilling occupations for the chance at having a good life that Rachel wanted. What Friends seems to be missing already is the idea that following one's passion should lead to success and happiness. Rachel never got a chance to find her passion. She was never encouraged to pursue a passion. But the idea that struggling through it in order to maybe find a passion is the best life that one could possibly have. The message that seems pervasive through the pilot and the series. and culture in general is, I think, a problematic one.
Amazing? I mean, I have never made coffee before in my entire life.
That is amazing.
Congratulations.
You know, I figure if I can make coffee, there isn't anything I can't do.
No, I think it's if I can invade Poland. There isn't anything I can't
Listen, while you're on a roll, if you feel like you gotta make like a Western omelet or something. Although actually, I'm really not that hungry this morning.
Now, because Rachel cannot in fact make coffee, the sentiment there is that her optimism is unwarranted. But the general optimism that is perpetuated in the show is that you see these people struggle, these friends, and that even though they're doing things that they find unfulfilling, it's all worth it because they will always be in the company of other people who are also doing that. So Rachel just hasn't found a thing she can be good at and unfulfilled with at the same time. Apparently the other friends have. Take a look.
All right, kids, I gotta get to work. If I don't input those numbers, doesn't make much of a difference.
So, like, you guys all have jobs?
Yeah, we all have jobs. See, that's how we buy stuff.
Now here they just come right out and say it. If you want to be a part of consumer culture, you must first do things that, by your own admission, don't make much of a difference, but are nonetheless key to your survival, both physically and socially, inside the capitalist world. Now, this is exactly what the advertisers that sell to television networks are looking for as a message to perpetuate on television. We all have jobs, that's why we buy stuff, go out and buy stuff, it's good for the economy, it's good for you, you'll make yourself feel good. Do a job that you don't want, so you can buy stuff and feel good about yourself. But even when you're an artist trying to pursue your passion, your career is not always in the direction that you want it to be in.
Yeah, I'm an actor.
Wow. Would I have seen you in anything?
Oh, I doubt it. Mostly regional work.
Okay, unless you happen to catch the Wee Ones production of Pinocchio at the Little Theater in the Park.
It was a job, all right?
Look, Geppetto, I'm a real live boy.
I will not take this abuse.
You're right, I'm sorry. Once I was a wooden boy, a little wooden.
We should both know that he's a dead man. Oh, Chandler.
Now, what's depressing about that is that Joey, the only person actually trying to follow his passion, is met with mockery that he had to do parts that were not in his best interest. His excuse is that it was a job, alright? And that's a very valid excuse in this type of society, where it's seen as virtuous to struggle and compete and complain for the chance and vague promise of a better life someday. In Joey's case, a big break. In Rachel's case, just trying to find a job, but she's not quite getting it.
Guess what?
You got a job?
Are you kidding? I'm trained for nothing. I was laughed out of 12 interviews today.
And yet you're surprisingly upbeat.
Well, you would be too if you found Joan and David boots on sale, 50% off.
Oh, how well you know me.
They're my new, I don't need a job, I don't need my parents, I've got great boots.
How'd you pay for them?
Credit card.
And who pays for that?
My father.
As Rachel herself stated, she is trained for nothing but her wealth and her privilege asserted a status that she is entitled to everything she has. He needs everything she has. She had a wealthy background, she was going to marry into a wealthy background, it was all set. But equally as damaging is the belief that someone should do things in their livelihood that they do not find rewarding in order to make a status for oneself, even if it's through something that the theme song would determine to be a joke.
Oh, God, come on, you guys. Is this really necessary? I mean, I can stop charging anytime I want.
Come on, Rachel, you can't live off your parents your whole life.
I know that. That's why I was getting married.
All right, you ready?
No, I'm not ready. How can I be ready? Hey, Rach, you ready to jump out of the airplane without a parachute? Come on, I can't do this.
You can, I know you can.
I don't think so.
Come on, you made coffee. You can do anything. Cut. All right.
You know what? I think we can just leave it at that. Kind of like a symbolic gesture.
Rachel, that was a library card. Cut.
You know, if you listen very closely, you can hear 1,000 retailers scream.
Welcome to the real world. It sucks. You're gonna love it.
That last statement is considered a statement in good spirits. Welcome to the real world. It sucks. You're gonna love it. Should that be a statement that people in the world should aspire to? Should it be a message that we would take away from this? Is it a good message to absorb? The real world sucks, but we should love it anyway because we're working for it through jobs that are jokes. And we won't make enough money, but at least it'll be our own work that we will be insufficiently compensated for. Isn't that great? The real world sucks, but we're going to love it. That is the tone of the series. And I admit that it is a funny show, but in re-examining it, it just shows how pervasive an idea might be throughout television. And in this case, consumer culture is valued seemingly above all else, even above comfort. Now, Rachel's materialistic expectations are rightly criticized, but the drive for consumer culture at the expense of a working class person's own comfort is, I think, something that we need to watch out for, and that isn't really critically considered in the American sitcom. I'm Jeremy Einbinder. This is Democratize the Media, making a media that works for everyone. Thanks for watching.